The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Sorry about my voice. We need strong leaders to lead Africa. We are seeing things happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and we are so excited because we are looking for leaders all over Africa to be like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso's leaders. Africa, we have all that it takes to make us what we want to be. But the leadership has always been the problem of Africa. The president of Namibia, Natambo Nandi Ndaitwah, has reclaimed the mining and energy sector after he has fired the minister in charge. According to her, she wants to take control over these sectors to make sure that things run smoothly. And if we want to see a better tomorrow, we must start doing it now. And that sometimes even the trees that we are planting, the planters might not even live to enjoy the shade. But it doesn't mean that you should not plant them. Because of the next generation, you have to contribute and make things better. So Natambo, so the president has taken control over the energy sector to give us a better Namibia. She's doing everything possible in her part to make sure that the things that have gone wrong in Namibia, she makes them right. And we are fighting for leaders that will come and make things right.
We can speak frankly, differ respectively, and still move forward together. That spirit is of true partnership is what will carry Namibia from dialogue to delivery. During these 2 days, we reminded ourselves that progress starts with trust. And from the discussions, we have really shown that the government and the private sector, we trust one another. Because when government and business meet each other halfway, in the spirit of true partnership, we create the right environment for growth. During this forum, from all the statements delivered, the panels that took place, and the 10 working groups, a lot of issues came out. However, all of them were focusing on one direction, and that is, how do we grow our economy, create jobs, and take our people out of poverty? I must tell you that this engagement was served by able secretariat, and a clear and comprehensive report will be produced immediately for implementation. Among the issues raised, just for a reflection, include over-regulations. We need to align regulations to enhance efficiency and productivities. The current processing of visa, work and import permits are considered not friendly to investment. It has also come out clear that we must make it easy to do business in Namibia by reviewing and amending policies that hold us back, simplifying process, cutting unnecessary delays, and align our institutions. Equally, it comes to light that quality service delivery, honesty and integrity are the key to success. We need a predictable and a fair system that builds confidence. And of course, as we know, confidence attracts investment, creates jobs, and drives inclusive growth. We agree Namibia needs to be competitive if we are to unlock our economy. Hence, the issue of incentives has been highlighted, as well as the importance of collaboration and to adopt a culture of agency. Skill and capacity building, as well as financing, are also important elements to enable us to take our nation to prosperity. Namibia is part and parcel of the global village, and therefore connectivity and digitalization cannot be overemphasized. We agree that there is a need to align our education system with the needs of the labor market and equip our young people with practical and digital skills. In this way, we will build confidence, a confident generation ready to compete in the labor market. The high-level panels capture the essence of this forum, that the government cannot do everything alone. Real transformation happens when we create more space for private sector participation, while the government focuses on enabling, regulating, and ensuring fairness. This is how we move from potential to progress and from planning to prosperity. We also affected on the immense potential of our mining industry. Namibia is richly endowed with strategic minerals that the world needs. If well managed and sustained, mining can be a true game changer that lifts our economy to the new heights and improve the livelihood across the country. But to fully benefit, we must develop a specialized skills that this sector requires. Namibia must be equipped to take up the high-value jobs of the future rather than depending on outside experts. The United Nations participation added an important global dimension through the Global Accelerator on Jobs and Social Protection. Namibia is working hand in hand with international partners who share our vision of inclusive prosperity. There are 4 focus areas: youth employment, entrepreneurship, expansion of social protection, and transformation from informal to formal economy, aligns seamlessly with our national priorities. The AU Agenda 2063, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the Pact for Future, adopted at the UN last year under co-facilitation of Namibia and Germany, is also an important document to refer to. Together, we must ensure that the public-private partnership, which we have recommitted ourselves over the past 2 days, delivers tangible results for our people. Our sectoral working group also brought forward practical and powerful ideas. The agriculture, water and fishery cluster reminded us that food security is both a matter of dignity and development. We must modernize agriculture, expand agro-processing, and promote Namibia's product to strengthen local industry. The creative industry, sports and tourism group reminded us that culture is also an economy. Our music, film, craft, and tourism hold immense potential to create jobs, build national pride, and share the Namibian story with the world. The public and private sector must collaborate closely to nurture and invest in creative power. The session on health, housing, land and sanitation reminded us that inclusive development begins with dignity. Access to quality health care, affordable housing, service delivery, and proper sanitation are not privilege, they are rights. We must act with urgency and unity to make those rights living reality for every Namibian. The question now, where do we go from here? To reduce the time of registering business in Namibia, I want to inform you that a decision is already taken that by the end of November, the one-stop shop must be up and running. It is going to be hosted at the old SME building bank. That's where the place is already cleaned, the furniture is available, and all ministers who are supposed to be there, they are already directed to make sure that senior officials are placed in that building without delay. And this has been the first task I had given to the Prime Minister, and he said he has delivered. So that is now off the table. I had also to inform you that all relevant ministries, they are directed to play their part. But for now, I want to inform you that, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture, with particular to the agricultural sector, they are directed to make sure that for them to ensure that the planned health capacity is enhanced before the end of this financial year, which is ending in April. They must be deploying specialized skills to address the emerging needs and the challenge of this sector. The Ministry of Agriculture is also to speed up the establishment of the structure to commence the implementation of the transformation of the agro-food sector implementation plan, which identify priority investment areas and classified stakeholder roles by December 2025. As for the other issues, I would like to have a report by the end of next week. Issues that we addressed here. The Ministry of Home Affairs must ensure that the immigration bill is enacted before the end of financial year. Ministry of Home Affairs must improve the infrastructures at the Jose Akutako International Airport by adding more counters if they are needed in the arrival halls. We must also review, as a matter of urgency, the visa regime and simplify visa application forms to make it clear for investors and visitors to access the special visa program. As a Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, now I'm the President. I have been saying, and now I'm saying it, serious investors who are proving that they really have the money, let us give them 5 years investors visa. I don't want to open the country to unwanted elements, but I'm talking about real investors. And I'm sure the current minister will behave for the same, because if it's not that, I had it, I know it will happen. And then the Minister of Home Affairs should digitalize the application for employment and student permit for easy processing and facilitation as of April 2023. By 2026, coming now to the finance. Definitely, the Namibian government is poised to implement a series of tax reform designed to boost both competitiveness and fairness within the economy. Those initiatives align with global trends that advocate for increased tax to GDP ratio to facilitate economic growth and promote reducing inequality through progressive tax framework. Those of you who have been following me from 2022, I was saying, when you vote me, I don't want to lead, I want to lead a developmental state and not just a revenue-driven state. I believe if we work together under a developmental state, whereby as I'm taking my tax, I also want to leave something for you, but not for you to squander, to invest back so that you can increase my revenue collection. That is what I'm saying when I talk about a developmental state. In the short term, the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 includes 10 proposals previously announced in the budget and have been presented for legislative consideration and is anticipated to be passed into the law by the end of this financial year. I affirm among the key proposal changes are enhancement to corporate tax across all sectors, including manufacturing. The corporate tax rate has been reduced from 32% over MTEF and further down to 28% to close the gap within the rest of SADC. Another thing that is happening, there is new differentiated reduced rate of 20% for small and medium enterprise to support local entrepreneurs during their growth phase, and a 20% tax rate for special economic zone enterprises in line with the global expectation for corporates to pay a minimum fair share of taxes where they have economic activities. Considering the deliberations of the past 2 days, the Minister of Finance is directed to investigate the possibility of any additional categories under the special economic zone taxation structure. To this effect, to be in line with other jurisdictions, we propose a 15% effective tax rate for qualified special economic zone enterprises who make a minimum investment to set by the Minister of Finance and the Minister of International Relations and Trade. Further announcement regarding the qualification thread will be made in the main budget in March. Also, I said more issues raised here are going to be investigated, and I will have to get a report in order for the industry to be informed accordingly. Fellow Namibians, I listened very carefully to the debates. And one thing, I welcomed the proposal to set up task forces. I welcome that. Accordingly, I have decided to set up 3 task forces as follows. Number 1, task force on economic recovery. Number 2, task force on health. Number 3, task force on housing. With this, I'm mandating the Secretariat of this forum, como Director General of National Planning Commission, to work out the modalities, because I can see that those who participated in the working groups and the different committees are going to be the nucleus of this task force. But of course, the public sector will also be represented. The Secretariat has to report to me by the end of this week, starting on Monday, to enable me to constitute those task forces, and for them to start working immediately and report to myself by the end of January 2026.
She is the first female president in Namibia, and we are hoping to see that she will make a great history in Namibia, because according to her, we need both men and women in this fight, and that is very important. Always I say that what men can do, we can also do, and we need to be allowed or given the chance to also contribute our part to the world and to the development and the freedom that we are fighting for. We need to have leaders that will cause a change in Africa, bold. And we need leaders who will not only come and be talkers like we have always had all these years. Our leaders always come and give us scripts, and that at the end of the day, we don't see anything happening. We hope that this woman, as she always talks, she will do exactly as she has planned, because of what she has gone through fighting for the liberation of Namibia. But one thing, like the president of Botswana said, it isn't because the predecessors do not know what to do, but it's because of the system that we are using. Because you need to go there, go there, go there. And we know these people, the IMF and the World Bank, do not want us to have things that we can use to generate income. Because when we have them, they will go bankrupt. So they have to always make sure that we don't create anything. We have to always depend on them. And sometimes the money that they give to us They give us conditions as to what we should use the money for. So we need to have African model kind of system that will solve the problems of the African. If we continue to be living in the systems and things of these people that we do not have any understanding and it doesn't fit the African culture, we'll do our best and yet we'll see no result. And that is why Captain Ibrahim Traore said, we are not in a democratic era, but a revolutionary era. And we cannot have this revolution when we are still holding on to the systems of these people. Africa, we know what we can do to solve our problems, but the reason to which our leaders are not able to do is as a result of the systems of the oppressors, because everything that we are using today is from the oppressor. And like one Chinese man said, the reason to which Africa we are still where we are is because we are holding on to the systems of other people. But China was able to move away, and that is why we are seeing China to have a different narrative today, that even today Africa, with all the resources that we have, our leaders will still go to China to be borrowing from China. And with what we are facing now, we don't need to be holding on to democracy and fighting to keep it. We are hoping to see more leaders doing what it takes to cause a change. But the real change will only happen in Africa when we are able to walk away from these systems that were given to us, that which we do not understand. We know that we understand these things on the surface, but deep down, we do not understand. And that is why we are to fight for a change, a model that suits the African, something different from the West, because their culture and traditions are different from the African. We need to have things that suit our environment, that are of the African problem, and we can find African solutions to them, because we can't have problems of the West and we are looking for African solutions to these problems. But we are hoping to see a better Namibia, and the things that she's doing will cause a change for the people in Namibia. But we are to fight for that change in Africa. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. So that's the latest around the world in Africa and in Namibia.